Hey folks, Prepper Princess. A long time ago, I was diagnosed with the disease called Bag Lady Syndrome. What is it and how does it affect us? Hey folks, Prepper Princess. So Bag Lady Syndrome is an actual syndrome coined in the 1970s for women who have extreme anxiety over finances and believe that in their elder years they are going to run out of money, become homeless, and live destitute lives, essentially a bag lady. Now, this is something that I have lived with my entire life. All of the women in my family have a tendency to either be single bachelorettes for the majority of their life, or they have a tendency to greatly outlive their spouses. And this is true for all of the women on this side of the family that I am aware of. My Aunt Pam, her husband, Uncle Kip, died just recently. And fortunately, she also has bag lady syndrome. In fact, we just talked about this last week. She has bag lady syndrome as well, extreme anxiety over finances. Although she was a college professor and has a really great nest egg as well as her home paid off, she does have this syndrome just like I do. My mother passed away at the age of 54 about 10 years ago, and she was single and saved every single penny that she could, or at least put it towards the payments of her home so that she would end up not being a bag lady. However, her finances did in fact outlive her. My grandmother at this time is currently in a nursing care home, and she also has bag lady syndrome. She is continually talking about finances, although she is no longer able to handle them. She also worries that she will run out of money, and she believes that she will be homeless. She doesn't put it into her thought process that maybe one of us would take her in, or that she would be able to live on a government-assisted living facility. Now, here's the thing, is that the elder care in the United States has really, really taken a turn since, I believe it was the Eisenhower administration who created Social Security, and we have sort of progressed as a nation towards taking better care of our elders. However, we still have a really, really long way to go. I'm sure that if any of you have any relatives or loved ones in hospital care or hospice care, nursing home facilities that are run by the government, you know what these are like. They essentially look like hospitals, and the people who live in them can be quite scary, and it is a bit depressing. But however, that is neither here nor there. We can talk about that a little bit later. But I don't want to say I have extreme anxiety over finances, but at the same time, I do have the fear of outliving my money. Even though my house is completely paid for, and I'm sure that there are things that the government could probably step in and possibly help me with paying property taxes or cutting out property taxes, I still have electricity and water that I would have to pay for, as well as internet connection or some sort of background noise. But I'm sure that I've noticed that the majority of my subscribers, my content watchers, are women aged 55 to 64. And I think that this bag lady syndrome, with the way that the economy is going, is forcing a lot of people to really, really look into their finances. And once you finally do look into your finances, sometimes it happens later in life, because in our 20s, 30s, and 40s, we're always enjoying our life. In our 50s, 60s, and 70s, we're typically winding down and living with the regret that we did not save. Now, I am age 39, and so the Social Security Administration, the people who hand out the money, tell me they're not going to give me any money. Social Security will be gone by the time I retire. Now, there are a lot of people out there who disagree with that. And that's fine. You can disagree with it all you want. However, is Social Security the only thing that you're relying on for your retirement? If that is the case, you need to really, really start saving some money. Social Security was not intended to be a complete finance replacer. It was intended to be something to put on top of your retirement. So you were supposed to live off of your retirement, and the Social Security was just supposed to be a bonus. But again, I digress. So here's another thing. Bag lady syndrome is extreme anxiety over finances is common enough among women that it has been dubbed bag lady syndrome. This represents the fear of running out of money, losing your home, and ending up destitute. And this is my biggest fear. And another thing is that I've noticed with the illness of my mother taught me a lot. A huge amount of information came in when my mother became sick. A huge amount of information, different information, also came in as my grandmother began to progressively age. More information is now coming in from my Aunt Pam, who is now 70 years old. So one of the things that we have a tendency to do in our older age is move towards family. And it's not only moving towards family. You're not moving towards your second cousin who's 5 years older than you. What you have a tendency to do is move towards family that is younger than you. Family that can take care of you if something happens. Whether you believe that they might actually do that, it's almost a fail-safe among women to where they move to a younger generation so that it will relieve some of that financial stress. Well, if anything bad happens, maybe they'll take me in. Or maybe they will be able to help me with chores. So as you age, you are less and less able to do things physically that you were in your youth. Shoveling snow, mowing the lawn, cleaning gutters, power washing your house. Sometimes people get to the point where they start losing their eyesight and driving becomes difficult. When driving becomes difficult, it's very difficult to get groceries for yourself. Some people start losing their cognitive abilities. They're no longer able to cook. Sometimes your cognitive abilities start regressing and you're not able to use a microwave anymore. You burn food in the microwave. And that's when things become dangerous. If you leave the stove on, you could have burned down your house, that sort of thing. If you can't drive, you can't get food. And if you can get food and you can't microwave it, you essentially can't eat. And that's where things start getting really scary for people. I'm trying to, it's really hard to put all that you have learned into a video. But with my mother, when I moved out of the house, I only moved a mile away. I was 1 mile away from my mother. And towards the end, she had asked me to move back in with her. And I didn't because I was only a mile away. But it happened so rapidly that even had I moved in, it wouldn't have made much of a difference. But as women, we're much more vulnerable physically and emotionally. But we also are too prideful to ask for help. I've noticed that with the care of men and the care of women. Now, I'm not a nurse, but I've done a lot of caring for other people. So, incontinence. If a man becomes incontinent, he has no problem telling an aide, somebody else, aren't you going to clean that up? When a woman is incontinent, she will become embarrassed and excuse herself and go into the bathroom and clean up herself. Those types of things. So it's very different in the different sexes when it comes to aging. Right now, my aunt, who is 70 years old, is asking me to move to her house. I don't want to say where, but she has acreage and she's no longer able to shovel the snow or mow the lawn, or hire contractors to do the things I was talking about, gutter cleaning, house care, small repairs. She's not able to do those things anymore. She's 70. And contractors these days are becoming much more flaky. Like, they cannot be relied upon. And she's seeing this with her contractors who are doing the lawn maintenance and the shoveling of the snow and the clearing of the driveway, because she's on a huge acreage with her driveway being like a mile long. So this becomes an issue. And she she's very stubborn, and she wants to stay where she is, and she wants me to go there, and she wants to give me her house, and she wants to build a smaller house on her property for her to live in, and she wants to give me the larger 1,900 square foot house. That's another thing. Houses, for some reason, once you are the last one left, your family is, or your house is just too much. It's too much to dust. It's too hard to vacuum. You can't vacuum anymore. You can't dust anymore. You can't clean the windows anymore because you don't have the strength or the mental ability to do those things anymore. And this is, women just outlive men for the most part. As you know, the longevity, the mortality rate in America, women have a tendency to live longer than men. So I have bag lady syndrome. My aunt has bag lady syndrome. My grandma has it. My mom had it. We're all a big family of bag lady syndrome ladies. Now, I hope that you don't find this term offensive. It's not intended to be offensive at all. But it is real. It's very real. It's very scary. It's very frightening. And there's not really a way to get past it. You cannot get past a fear that is not tangible. Some people are afraid of spiders. You can touch a spider. Some people are afraid of airplanes. You can touch an airplane. Some people are afraid of running out of money. You can't touch money that's not run out yet. So it's really, really difficult to get over. And if you have bag lady syndrome, you are not the only one out there. And hey girls, I just say we do the Golden Girls, and let's get like 5 of us in a big house, and everybody gets a room, and then we'll all do our own part. It's 1/5 of the work, 1/5 of the cost. And I think that that's what I'm gonna end up doing. I'm gonna do the Golden Girls thing and rent out rooms. Do what you can with what you've got. Prepper Princess out. Hey folks, what is my name? God.
Okay, get him up. Get him up. Get him up. Get him up. Okay, get him up. Get him up. We got him. We got him. Okay, there he is.
Do you know how cute you are? Do you know how cute you are? You are so cute. You are so cute. Yes. Yes, my little boy. My boy.
Which is why when we kill the animals, we take care to do it.
Oh, you want to hold hands again? We could hold hands. We'll hold hands. Let me give you a hand rub. Would you like a little paw massage? Would you like a little palm? Oh, okay.